Hello, my name is Bree. A lot has happened to me in the past couple of months, and I thought, what better way to vent than to write? To start off, I'd like to introduce my husband, Zach. He's the love of my life and my rock. Zach is my support system and my best friend. We've always had a very loving and fulfilling relationship. Like every couple, we've had fights, but we've always been very honest with each other, and I absolutely love that about us. But there was one thing that troubled our relationship. My mother-in-law, Joan. She always tried to ruin our happiness. Joan would say things to Zach that made him doubt if I was good enough for him. It hurt a lot to think she didn't believe I was worthy of his love. But Joan didn't stop there. She even tried to set Zach up on a date while we were already married. It was beyond mean and disrespectful. Zach didn't agree with her, but her constant bothering started to affect him. He began to pull away from me, and it felt like we were growing apart. Can we talk about what's been going on with you lately? I feel like you're ignoring me, and it's been bothering me, I asked. No, I'm not, Zach replied. I really feel like you're struggling with something. It's affecting us. I need you to tell me what you're feeling, I insisted. It's not a big deal. We're just going through a rough patch. It'll pass, he said dismissively. But it's been going on for a while now. I miss us, I pleaded. Look, it's probably just stress from work or something. We'll be fine. Don't make it into a big deal, he said. I don't think it's just about work. I feel like this has something to do with your mother and what she's been saying, I pressed. My mom doesn't mean any harm. She's just concerned about me. It's not worth getting all worked up about, he responded. Your mother is not concerned about you. She's trying to break us apart. Please tell me you're not actually listening to her, I said, desperate. You're blowing this out of proportion. It's not as serious as you're making it out to be. Just let it go, he said, brushing me off. His casual disregard for my feelings left me profoundly saddened, as though our once cherished love had lost its significance to him. I experienced a sense of betrayal, questioning whether I truly belonged with someone who could dismiss me so effortlessly. During this period, I grappled with a profound sense of loneliness. One day, Joan came to visit us and asked for some alone time with Zach. Deep down, I felt something was really wrong. Regardless of my instincts, I respected their privacy and stayed outside the room, but curiosity got the better of me, and I couldn't help but listen in on their conversation. What I heard really shocked me. Joan was saying mean things about me to Zach, trying to convince him that we should get a divorce. She even brought out papers for him to sign, wanting me to sign them too. It hurt so much, and my world felt like it was falling apart. Zach sounded uncomfortable, trying to disagree with what she was saying. I couldn't take it anymore. I walked into the room, determined to confront Joan about her behavior. Joan, why do you have such a problem with me? Why are you literally harassing my husband? I demanded. Oh please, I'm not harassing him. I'm just looking out for him, she replied. How is talking crap about me and forcing him to give me a divorce supposed to be looking out for him? I asked incredulously. I just think that Zach deserves someone better than you, someone more attractive and successful, and I'm trying to nudge him in that direction, she said. What is wrong with you? I exclaimed. Okay, that's enough, Mom. I've tolerated your behavior for a long while now, but now that you've properly dragged Bree into this and hurt her, I'm putting my foot down. I need you to leave us alone, Zach said firmly. Zach, you don't understand that I'm only trying to make your life better, Joan protested. If you actually cared for me, you'd see that I'm already living my best life right now with Bree. Please leave and don't even try to come back. I don't want to talk to you anymore, Zach said, standing his ground. You'll regret this, mark my words, Joan warned as she left. After Joan left, Zach and I sat down to talk about what happened. Babe, I'm so sorry for everything. I want you to know that I never once considered anything my mother said. It's just she's the woman who raised me, and I couldn't bring myself to get angry at her, Zach explained. It hurt me, babe. It hurt that you didn't open up to me about anything. Do you know how much pain I've endured? I asked, tears in my eyes. I know, and I really regret that. I thought I could handle it on my own, but the moment she involved you, I couldn't bear it anymore. I should have stood up for you sooner, Zach admitted. You know what hurts even more? That it took so much for you to stand up for me. It feels like I'm not enough, like I'm not worth fighting for, I said, my voice breaking. That's not true at all. You're the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I'm so sorry I made you feel like you aren't. I'll be better, I promise. I'll always stand up for you, no matter what the circumstances are. You deserve nothing less, Zach vowed. It took time, but eventually, I found it in my heart to forgive him and begin healing. Healing wasn't easy. Joan really hurt me, but with love, patience, and open communication, we rebuilt our relationship stronger than ever. We learned to trust and support each other no matter what. We grew closer, cherishing the love and happiness we share. 3 years had passed, and we had completely lost contact with Joan. She never reached out to us. And honestly, we didn't make any effort to check in with her either. Life moved on, and we focused on making our lives happier with each other. Recently, all my hard work paid off when I received a tremendous promotion at work. It was a moment of pride and joy for both Zach and me. Along with the promotion came incredible benefits and a significant increase in my salary. We celebrated this huge accomplishment, feeling grateful for the success that had come our way. Zach couldn't contain his happiness and admiration for me. He took to social media to express his appreciation, posting a heartfelt message about my achievements. Little did we know that Joan would come across that post and decide to contact Zach. When Joan called, Zach answered, but his tone was cold and distant. "What do you want?" Zach asked. "Zach, I want to apologize for everything I've done. I've been going to therapy, and it made me realize how hurtful and toxic my behavior has been. I truly am sorry," Joan said. "I'm glad you understand the mistakes you've made," Zach replied. "Thank you, Zach. I hope you'll be able to forgive me," Joan said. "It'll be a long time before that happens. You'll have to work very hard to prove to me and Bree that you've actually changed," Zach responded. "Of course, I'll do anything. I just want to have you back in my life," Joan pleaded. "How about I show you how much I've changed this week?" Joan asked. "What do you mean?" Zach inquired. "I have a reunion with some old friends in our town, so I was wondering, would it be possible for me to stay with you for a couple of days? Please, I promise I've changed, and I want to earn your forgiveness as fast as I can because I miss you, my dear," Joan said. "Fine, but just for a couple of days," Zach agreed. "Thank you. I can't wait to see you again. You won't regret letting me stay with you, I promise," Joan said. Zach ultimately agreed because he still loved his mother and believed that she had changed. He felt a sense of relief knowing that she was doing better. When Zach told me about the situation later that day, I couldn't help but be visibly upset. "Why would you even invite her after all the pain she has caused? She literally tried to force you to divorce me," I exclaimed. I know, but I heard the sincerity in her voice. It's been a long time since that incident. I genuinely believe she has changed and wants to make things right. I want to give her a chance and see if we can rebuild our relationship," Zach explained. "It's hard for me to let go of my anger. I'm scared that she might hurt us again. I need you to understand that if Joan tries anything, I won't hesitate to leave immediately," I said, my voice trembling. "Yeah, but don't worry. I promise to keep a close eye on my mother. If she crosses any boundaries or causes any harm, I will stand up for you. You're my priority, and I won't let her hurt you again," Zach reassured me. "All right, I trust you, and I hope you're right about Joan's transformation. Let's hope this reunion brings positive change for all of our sakes," I said, feeling a mix of hope and anxiety. The next few days, I was an anxious mess as I waited for Joan to arrive. When the day finally arrived, Joan greeted us with warm hugs and genuine smiles. She sincerely apologized for her past behavior, expressing her desire to make things right. I was surprised by Joan's new attitude. In the past, she would have found a way to belittle my promotion, but this time she surprised me by appreciating my hard work. It felt good to be acknowledged and appreciated by her. As the next 2 days passed, there were no incidents or conflicts. Joan seemed to genuinely enjoy our company and made an effort to get to know me better. We engaged in pleasant conversations, laughed together, and shared stories. It was a side of Joan I hadn't seen before, and it gave me hope that perhaps our relationship could be rebuilt. One night, Zach and I talked about Joan's change of heart. "I'm sorry for getting upset when you told your mom that she could stay with us. I know it wasn't an easy choice, and I can see why you wanted to give her a chance," I said. "You don't need to say sorry, babe. I know she hurt us before, and I get why you were worried. It's normal to be skeptical after what we've been through," Zach replied. I have to say that I'm really surprised that Joan actually said sorry and went to therapy. I didn't expect her to change, I admitted. "I hope this is a chance for us to have a better relationship with her," Zach said. "I agree. It's nice to have my mother back. Plus, I've always wanted you and my mom to get along." We've been through a lot, and if there's a chance to make things better, I want to try, Zach said. I'm hopeful but cautious. I'm not gonna lie, it's a big step for both of us, but I want to support you and have a healthier relationship with your mom. Just promise me you'll watch for any problems and support me if things go wrong, I said. Of course, babe. You'll always be my number one priority. I'll be careful and make sure we both feel okay. We'll take it slow and see how things go, Zach promised. We were careful but hopeful as we considered rebuilding our relationship with Joan. We knew that trust would take time to rebuild, but we were willing to give her a chance. It was a small step forward, and we remained hopeful about the future. We understood that change doesn't happen overnight, but we were willing to see if Joan's transformation was real. The next day, we relaxed at home for the weekend. The three of us enjoyed each other's company and had a good time. Joan mentioned that we hadn't celebrated my promotion yet. Zach jokingly agreed and suggested we plan the celebration for later. I was excited about the idea of celebrating with the new and improved Joan. Zach kindly offered to go to the grocery store to get the ingredients for dinner while I volunteered to take care of the drinks. But Joan insisted on making the drinks herself. Oh, don't worry about the drinks, Brie. Let me take care of it. After all, we're celebrating your big promotion, and you shouldn't be working on a day like this, Joan said. Thank you, but really, it's fine. Zach and I can handle it, I replied. Yeah, Mom, she makes some really good drinks, so there's no need for you to go through any trouble, Zach added. Brie, you're the guest of honor here, and I want to do something special for you. Please let me prepare the drinks. It's the least I can do, Joan insisted. Mom, it's okay. Brie already said she can handle it, and she's excited to make the drinks. Let's just enjoy the celebration together, Zach interjected. I know, but I really want to contribute. It's important to me, Brie. Please let me do this for you. It would mean a lot to me, Joan pleaded. I appreciate your thoughtfulness, Joan, but I prefer to handle the drinks myself. It's something I enjoy doing, and it will make the celebration even more special for me, I explained. I understand, but please, Brie, let me take this opportunity to show you how much I care. I want to make this night memorable for you, Joan insisted. Okay, you can take care of it if you really want to. I finally relented. Joan's insistence made me feel uncomfortable and worried. My instincts told me that something wasn't right, but I couldn't figure out why. It was confusing because Joan had been treating me well and showing signs of change. Still, I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling, maybe because of how she had treated me in the past. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I knew I had to trust my gut and be cautious around Joan. When Zach went to the store, I told Joan that I needed to finish some work and went to my room. I suddenly felt scared of Joan and locked myself in, needing some time alone to think. I realized I couldn't share my concerns with Zach. How could I explain that my gut was telling me something was wrong with Joan? He wouldn't believe me, and it would only upset him. Keeping our relationship safe became my priority, even if it meant keeping my fears to myself. While waiting for Zach's return, I couldn't shake off the fear inside me, but I decided to stay alert and ready for anything that might happen. I hoped and prayed that my instincts were wrong and that the celebration would go smoothly. As we sat at the table, I watched Joan and Zach closely. Zach was finishing preparing dinner while Joan began preparing the drinks. She had her back turned to me. Zach turned to chat with me, but my focus stayed on Joan. Something felt strange, and my gut told me to be alert. In a quick moment, when Joan thought Zach and I were too involved in our conversation, I saw her take something from her pocket and add it to one of the drinks. My heart sank, and I got really worried. What was Joan doing? I carefully noted which cup she tampered with. Joan came over and placed all 3 cups on the table, purposely setting the cup she had tampered with in front of me. Instead of confronting her directly, I fought on my feet. You know what, babe? I think your drink is mixed better. Can we switch? I suggested. Oh, but I made the drinks all the same way. There's no need to switch, Joan quickly interjected. It's all right, Mom. Brie can be a little weird about some things. Let her have the drink she wants, Zach said. Thanks, babe. I just have this thing about how the drink looks, you know? I added. Are you sure, dear? I made this one especially for you, Joan insisted. It's all right. I just have a preference. I really appreciate your effort, though, I said. Mom, it's fine. Brie knows what she likes. Let's just enjoy the celebration and have a good time, Zach added. Well, if you're sure, Joan reluctantly agreed. Positive, I confirmed. I couldn't help but smirk, knowing that Joan's plan had failed. But things got tense as Joan started trembling and sweating a lot. She realized she couldn't serve me the drink she had tampered with. When Zach returned with the food, ready to take a sip, Joan's desperation reached a peak, and she knocked the cup out of his hands, shocking him. "What the hell? Why'd you do that?" Zach exclaimed. "Tell him what you did with that drink," I demanded. "Oh, I thought I saw a bug in his drink. That's all," Joan stammered. "Don't even try to lie, Joan. I saw you slip something into the drink that was meant for me," I said firmly. "Is that true, Mom? Did you really do that?" Zach asked, his voice filled with disbelief. "Zach, I just want you to have a better life. Why can't you see that?" Joan cried. "Hasn't my success been enough for you? You've always complained that I'm not successful enough," I said, my voice shaking with emotion. "Well, being successful doesn't mean you're pretty or have a better personality," Joan retorted. "That's enough. What you're really searching for is a spineless woman who you can use to control me," Zach said, his voice filled with anger. "No, that's not true. I just want anyone but her for you," Joan insisted. "I don't want anyone else. I'm glad I have Bree by my side. Get out of my house. Get out of my life. I'm never giving you another chance," Zach declared. "Zach, don't do this to me," Joan pleaded. "I can't believe you. You're pathetic. Get out of my sight," Zach said, his voice cold. Joan quietly packed her things and left. It felt like a heavy burden had been lifted. Zach looked at me with sadness and apologized for everything that had happened. I could tell he truly regretted ever giving his mom a chance. I told him he had no need to apologize. He was not wrong for believing that his mother had changed, especially because I myself believed in that change. We learned the importance of setting boundaries and standing up for what we believed in. Our love grew stronger, supported by respect and commitment. We no longer let Joan's toxic influence define us. Instead, we focused on nurturing our relationship and creating a life filled with happiness, trust, and genuine connection. Our journey showed us the power of love and forgiveness. We learned to choose our own path, free from toxic people. Together, we embrace a brighter future, grateful for the lessons we learned and the unbreakable bond we shared. So, if there's one thing I want to share through this story, it is to always trust your instincts, cherish those who stand by your side, and never be afraid to cut ties with toxic people, even if they are family.